He calls me up and he's like, can you clarify your text message? And I said, I was wondering what you meant by the Uber. Were you going to call me an Uber, or did you want me to call an Uber for myself? And he said, I recommend you call an Uber for yourself. And I said, oh, well, since this is a date, I prefer you to Uber me, or you can pick me up. And he's like, oh, well, I think you could just do it yourself. And my thing is, yes, I can do it myself, but you're asking me on a date. I expect to be taken care of. Pick me up or call me an Uber. The notion that it's too far or too out of the way for the date, it's an inconvenience for me because now I have to pay for part of this date. I have a problem with that.
Hey good people, this is Tori with Datingwright, and in this video we're going to be showing the ladies who are watching examples of why men are going their own way and why a lot of men are just disgusted right now with the dating scene. Ever since I saw the celebrating of Kevin Samuel's death, it has bothered me to the point where I am struggling to even make these modern women content videos. The entitlement is just getting to be too much for me to even bear. I'm so glad that I'm not in the US right now. I'm currently out of the country, and I'm kind of relieved because I couldn't be dating right now in the States with all this. The entitlement of the Western woman is really depressing to see. But the bold face and the arrogance of this woman is something to be discussed. So we definitely gonna get into it. But before we get into any of this, please make sure to subscribe to the channel, like, comment, share the video. Now that we got that out of the way, let's get into this breakdown.
If he wanted to, he would. Hear me out. I went on a date with a guy last week, and it was a good date. We had a fun time together. He's a big-time lawyer. He owns 3 to 4 cars. He's doing really well in life. You guys know I'm a model. I'm new to the city. Transplant. Don't even have a car yet. Still building up my life out here. Regardless, I expect my date to either pick me up or Uber me to the date. That is just my standard. The first date, he was a perfect gentleman. He picked me up and everything. He calls me today for a second date. He wants to go golfing. I said, great. What time are you picking me up? He's like, well, it's out of the way to pick you up. I just recommend you Uber to me and then we can go on our date. And then I wasn't sure if he meant me Uber myself or him Uber me. So I hung up and I texted him. I was like, hey, I'm excited for Saturday, but just to clarify. He calls me up and he's like, can you clarify your text message? And I said, I was wondering what you meant by the Uber. Were you going to call me an Uber, or did you want me to call an Uber for myself? And he said, I recommend you call an Uber for yourself. And I said, oh, well, since this is a date, I prefer you to Uber me, or you can pick me up. And he's like, oh, well, I think you could just do it yourself. And my thing is, yes, I can do it myself, but you're asking me on a date. I expect to be taken care of. Pick me up or call me an Uber. The notion that it's too far or too out of the way for the date, it's an inconvenience for me because now I have to pay for part of this date. I have a problem with that. And when I think about it, you guys, some women, my sister, for example, she won't even pay for an ice cream at the end of the date. And she's been dating her guy for a couple years now, but even the first few months of their dating, she refused to pay for anything. She didn't pay for anything. He was like, can't you just pay for an ice cream after dinner? And she's like, no. And guess what? She moves in with this man. They've been together for 3 years, about to get married. He picked that girl. He didn't pick the girl that was trying to be nice and pay for her own Uber and pay for her own meal. No, he picked the girl that refused to pay for shit, refused to pay for anything for his ass, and he is in love. He's about to put a ring on it. He pays all the bills. They live together. He pays for everything. And yet, when they first started dating, he tried to play her. He was like, oh, can you just pay for this? No, I'm not paying for anything. Take it or leave it. He took it. So if he wanted to, ladies, he would. Okay, keep your standards high. That's all I gotta say.
Wow, you guys definitely got to tell me what you think about this one. Do we see the delusion that is going on today with modern women? And for this young lady here, she's a new model out in LA. and which is, Lord knows, she definitely gonna have a rude awakening in LA trying to date. There are women who are far more, I'm not gonna say that, but they are even having a hard time dating in LA. LA was the worst place she can go, but I do feel she should be a little bit more realistic when it comes to her sexual market value in today's climate. I think she's putting too much emphasis on her sister and her sister's situation. Her sister is a woman who, so happened to be, carries herself that way, and her sister really just ran into a beta male simp type of guy who, he's probably into that. He thought it was cute the way she, but the majority of men, they will not find this behavior cute. I think your sister's behavior, just like yours, is pretty rude. A guy gonna go out his way and set up a nice date for him. The least thing you need to be complaining about is the Uber. Now look, you said you were struggling. Now, I didn't say this, but if you got an issue paying for the Uber to get there, why not just say that to the guy and be like, hey, I'm already out here in LA trying to make it. I'm not sure if I have the money for the Uber. Keep it real. Just say, hey, I may not have the money for the Uber to get there. So, can you go ahead and just order me up the Uber because I'm running a little low on funds? I'm sorry about that, but there was another way that she could have handled this. I don't think she needed to go on and be sassy and try to imitate her sister, because like I said, her sister probably got a whole nother situation and that worked for that guy. And as I look at this once again and checking it out, I think this was a test that maybe he tried on her. This man could have obviously went and got her, but he didn't want to. He wanted to know what type of effort, if even the same effort she would put towards into making the relationship or the date work. You see what I'm saying? I think he was really looking out for women like her who are dead set on spending all of his money because she feel like she's entitled to it. This guy's apparently is a lawyer, she says. I'm sure this is not the first time he ran into gold digging women, especially out in LA. I think maybe possibly he was kind of setting her up a bit, like just wanting to see how she would play. I would do it. I know women say, "Oh, don't play games. Don't be the no, man. You ain't got to play games with women to certain levels." But I think you should try and test them because you don't know who you're gonna get until people are upset or they are triggered. Now you ain't got to do nothing extreme, but I think men should test women to find out early on how they are, and it's something that I wish I would have started doing years ago. It's something I do now. But like I said, I don't play games to that level, but there is a way to kind of see how a woman will move and shake. And a lot of times she will show her hand just like this lady did.
Serious question. Would you let a guy take you to a chain restaurant like to Olive Garden?
Well, I'm so glad you asked, sweetheart. Yes, I would let him take me to Olive Garden if he plans on paying for the entire date.
And this is something that a lot of women need to watch too, because men nowadays are aware of the fact that a lot of women are today going on dates just for a free meal. So a lot of these guys are feeling like, hey, I'm already taking you to a free dinner. Like, what's the big deal to just hop in an Uber? And that's fine that she got her standards, but the way she went about it and the things that she said is really going to make her look ugly. Okay, that's all I got for you guys. If you enjoyed this video, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, and share the video as much as possible. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in the next one.